Good morning and welcome to Trent Hills Today. My name is Susan and it's Tuesday. I know I've broken from tradition, but I had guests in yesterday and it was a very hectic day, so I wasn't able to do my little recording. So I'm a little behind schedule. But hey, it's summer, the heat is on, the humidity is here, the black flies are still here, and the mosquitoes, of course, have shown up just for good measure. I mean, why should the black flies have all of our bodies, right? Anyways, there's a couple of things that have happened, but I was thinking back on, I started doing these shows, if you want to call them that, back in February, and I've interviewed lots of people, and it's been great fun. But you know, it was, next month. Well, this past weekend, the Lilac Festival wrapped up. They had good weather. The lilacs were in bloom. The countryside smells fabulous. When I go for my run in the morning, it's just so beautiful. Just enough fragrance to be enjoyable and not be overwhelming. So that event is now over and done with. And we had the kite day at Ferris Park that I hope was a good success. I haven't heard anybody talk about it yet. And I heard that the jazz event, or the little bistro that they did in Warkworth, had some of the best performers that people have heard since they started doing that. So that's a great thing. I had tickets, but we had guests and I couldn't go. And it's like so many things, when people are talking to me about doing events, if you have to buy tickets, people say, oh, well, you know, we usually sell out, but people don't usually buy till the last minute. And you know, it's a catch-22. I bought my tickets early for the bistro thing because I figured we'd have time. I mean, what the heck? And then all of a sudden things came together and we had friends arriving and I wasn't able to make it. And then I reserved a ticket for the Spring Fling, which is the hospital auxiliary, but didn't pick up my ticket, and now I don't have a ticket to go. So there you go. It's a fine line when you're trying to do some of the things that are in our community. So be forewarned. Plan well, and if you buy your tickets, go, and if you don't want to go, don't buy any tickets. So there are a number of things we have to talk about. Again, Warkworth is going to be busy on the 2nd. They have Warkworth by night. That'll be on from 7 till 9. It won't be dark, but it'll be at night, and you know, you'll want to go down and check it out, see what's going on. It should be a lot of fun, and I'm thinking, I've looked at the long-range forecast, but you can't rely on these guys, and the weather should be just fine. For the hospital auxiliary, this Saturday, there will be a garage sale. It's a part of our fundraising, so please get out and support the event. If you have stuff that you want to donate to the auxiliary, you can talk to Sherry, and she's at 85 Kent Street. Depending on how you come from her house, you'll know it's the one that looks like a castle. That is also where the garage sale will be held. And I found out today, we had a meeting, and she has a gentleman who is moving, or his house is up for sale, and he's decluttering, so there will be furniture there. I've made a few donations, but mostly trays and linens and bric-a-brac and knickknacks and that kind of thing. So again, you know, here's an opportunity. Here's a woman who, with her aunt and her family, taking this all on, having it out in front of her house. She's doing what she can to help the hospital and help our community, because our hospital is so important to our community. They say that communities that have hospitals and schools grow. So that's an important thing to know. Walmarts, no. But hospitals and schools, absolutely. So please get out and try and help Sherry by buying something. Make sure you have proper cash. I know, hard to remember those things, but that would be nice for her, because she's going to be very, very busy. And as she said, no matter what time she starts putting stuff out or the signs out, there will be the early pickers looking for the great deals. So that's on Saturday, June the 2nd, here in Campbellford. For those of you who are fisher people, or fishermen, people who like to fish, whichever of those is politically correct. You can fish in Hastings. I saw that the season is open. And remember, you need a fishing license. We had guests in town years ago, and they went to Canadian Tire, I believe, and bought fishing licenses. And we have a Canadian Tire in town, so maybe hospitals and Canadian Tires are the things you have to have if you want to have a good life. I don't know. So that's open to you if you want to go fishing and have fresh fish. The other thing that I'd like to talk to you about is the pool registration. It's on today from 11 till 7 tonight. If you want to register your children, I assume you could register your grandchildren too if they're going to be here during the summer. The number that you should call if you can't get in there or you have any questions is 905-375-4991. So that's for pool swimming lesson registration here in Campbellford. I remember as a kid loving to go to swimming lessons. They asked me one time, do you know how to swim? And I said, of course I didn't know how to swim. I mean, I didn't. I thought I did, but so they made me jump in the deep end and I sort of sank like a stone. So they said, no, I don't think you know how to swim yet, so you're over there with the little kids. I mean, I was a little kid at the time, but you know, you always think you know more than you do. So that's that. That's what's going on in our community. The weather's lovely. Don't forget, Saturday we have the farmers market. I was down there a couple of weeks ago, actually opening weekend, and there's lots of new vendors that are showing up. So please check them out. These people too are out there trying to promote our community and trying to make a living and trying to share what they do with the rest of us. So it's always nice if you can go buy local, support those who support us, right? Last night I went down to Coburg to take a training course for the upcoming provincial election. I'm not here to talk about the provincial election, but there is early polling, and if any of you are interested in that, I'm going to have to go because of course I'm working on election day. But early polling in Campbellford is going to be held at the Campbellford Community Resource Centre, which is 65 Bridge Street. It's from May 26th to May 30th, 10 to 8 p.m. So if you would like to register early, or vote early, sorry, then that's where you can go. And if you didn't get it, it's the Campbellford Community Resource Centre, 65 Bridge Street, May 28th to 30th, 10 to 8. I think it's May 26th. Sorry, I can't read my own writing, especially without my glasses. So one of the things that you're going to need, they're changing this up. I'm going to be working at St. John's Church, and we had to have special training because they're introducing technology. So it's going to be a computer is going to calculate your vote. You don't have to worry about anything, you just have to go. There was a lot of laughter last night because they're using Sharpies. And apparently people walk out with a Sharpie in their hand with no lid on it because, of course, they tie the string to the lid and people just walk out with the Sharpie in their hand. That people would steal a Sharpie is just shocking to me. But they have to be Sharpies because that's what the computer can scan. So I think somebody's probably going to have at least 1 or 2 extra boxes of Sharpies on hand. And it'll be an interesting experience from what I saw in the video. But what you're going to need in order to vote is this card. This is called your voter information card, your VIC. You're going to need it, and you're going to need 1 piece of ID. Now they've changed things up. They want to make it easier for people, and you don't need to have photo ID. But you do need to bring something with your address on it. So it could be a utility bill, it could be a Visa bill. Some of the things they recommended I'm not prepared to repeat because I don't think showing medical records is appropriate. Driver's license. I don't think your healthcare has your address on, so that wouldn't qualify. But anything that can show that you are a resident of Campbellford. So you will show up, I will greet you, I will ask you to show me that you have this and a piece of identification. And additionally, what I will be looking at is where you vote. And this is interesting. I will be voting, if I was voting regularly, at the Campbellford District High School. You can find that information right here. Please, when you get this document, read it, because they are switching things up. I know when I was working the federal election at St. John's, people came and we said, oh no, this isn't where you should be. I've always voted here. This is where I've always come. I'm sorry, they've changed it. So again, look at this location right here. It says you vote at in dark letters. So it tells you when the election day is, you vote at, and it tells you what your poll number is, which is number 10. The other information is on the back of the card for you. So please, if you want to go and vote early, do so. That's great. Your vote counts as much as if you vote on a regular day. But please get out and vote. Over the years, the number of people who exercise their right to vote keeps diminishing for some reason. You know, I read an interesting article and it said it's really important to get out so that the people who are running realize that even if they win, if the person behind them is close, they know that people care. And the politics of the provincial election is not for me to discuss, but I think it's important that the politicians realize that we are listening and that we do care and that we do have a stake in this. And one of the things that I think for Campbellford that we really need to think about and look at and assess is how each of the candidates is going to treat healthcare. Because we need a new hospital, and we need them to have money set aside for more hospitals and more extended healthcare. And so I think for us in Campbellford, I know there's other issues, there are always other issues, but that is something that when I looked at the candidates, I thought, I know that you can't always like all of their platform, but the people who are willing to invest in hospitals are people we might want to support in this community. So please, again, make sure you get your voting card, one piece of ID with your address on, and either vote early or vote on election day. Until we see each other again, take care.